everyone, today we are taking a look at a video doorbell, and not just a video doorbell. This is a home security video doorbell which has some fantastic features that are so consumer friendly, and it does it in such an affordable price. This should be the market leader. So I'm going to break down in this video what it is. This is the EZVIZ HP3 Pro, and this video doorbell is as all video doorbells should be, and I'll explain why in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to thank EZVIZ for sponsoring this video and sending out the doorbell to me so I could do an honest review. One, because having sponsors for this channel supports it, just like you do by watching, liking and subscribing, and it allows us to keep making these videos, but also because I was really looking forward to upgrading my video doorbell, and they've sent me an absolutely amazing option which I'm super happy with. So in this video we're going to break down what it is the HP3 Pro offers, what my impressions have been for it, using it for about a week and a half, and then hopefully you can use this information to make up your mind as to whether or not you want this one or you want to go for something else. Now there's a few key features that I really like. There's a few things that are quite common amongst video doorbells, and there's a few things regarding performance. So first of all, we're going to look at some of the cool features that this particular doorbell has. Then we're going to look at how some of the extra things that a lot of video doorbells have as well, and then I'm going to talk about some of the things which I think this, in terms of performance, outperforms a lot of other doorbells. But what does it have? So the most obvious thing is that it comes with a solar panel. It's this massive thing which is about the same size as the doorbell, and it's this sort of wedge that points up. Solar panel is very useful. So essentially what it does is that when you're setting this up, you wire it into the back. We'll go over the setup in a second. When you have this solar panel installed with the doorbell, which you don't have to do if you don't want to, essentially it just keeps a constant level of charge. Now I currently, I mean, if you're watching this as I've uploaded it, I don't know when you are watching it, but it is currently winter. We're in December now. The days are very short, and my doorbell's on the north side of my house, which means it doesn't get a lot of sun. There's no direct sunlight on it, and it's just sort of ambient light in the winter months. It's been horrible weather, and the battery is just about keeping itself level. It's slowly charging up, so it's slowly going up day on day. When I first got it out, it had about 65%, and it's slowly climbed to about 70%, obviously with being used constantly. So the battery is on the way up, even though that there's not really any sun. So it's a really useful thing to have. It's very useful to have a solar panel on it, because I don't have to ever charge it, which is so helpful. So my doorbell before this EZVIZ doorbell didn't have a solar panel, which meant when it ran out of battery, it just ran out of battery. And if I was busy and I wasn't focusing very well, which is quite common in my life, I'll be honest, you can tell from the absolute mess that I have around me, there would be times where my doorbell just wouldn't have any battery for days, if not weeks, and people would ring my doorbell and nothing would happen. So the fact that this is doing it by itself is a big weight off of my shoulders, because I would have just left it otherwise. Next, another thing that's amazing about this is that this doorbell does not require any sort of annoying subscription that you have to pay. So many home security systems at the moment are requiring you to sign up for a monthly fee, and if you don't pay for those features, your doorbell just ends up just becoming a regular doorbell, and you can't use all of the actual smart features of your doorbell, which is really annoying. But this doorbell is different because it has internal storage. Now some doorbells do that with SD cards. This just has storage built into it, which is such a clever idea, and why has no one done this? It's so good, which essentially means that if you don't want to pay monthly, which let's face it, no one really does, you don't have to. They do offer a cloud storage options. I'll tell you why you might need the cloud storage option in a minute. They offer that, but you don't need to have it. You can just have the doorbell with no cloud storage whatsoever, and no subscription fee, and it will just record internally onto the doorbell, and then when you want to access the footage, you just go on the app and it gets it straight from the doorbell. How good is that? So good. There is one reason why you might want to pay a subscription fee for the cloud storage, and that is on the off chance someone tries to steal your doorbell. Now if someone breaks into your house, steals all your stuff, and then steals the doorbell, if your doorbell hasn't been uploading it to the cloud, then the footage of them stealing all your stuff goes with the doorbell. So it's something, if you want to have the best security possible, you should probably consider. However, if you just want it for being able to capture things that happen outside the front of your house, and let's be honest, most people who go around stealing stuff probably wouldn't think to steal the doorbell too. So that is still definitely much more secure, but it's a really good option for people who don't want to have to pay a subscription fee. I think it's 32 gigabytes, which is plenty. It's a fantastic amount of storage. So now we'll briefly go into the setup. The setup, again, is fairly easy. It's pretty standard for most of these doorbells. Essentially what you have the doorbell itself, you have a bracket for the doorbell to attach to, and then you have your solar panel if you want to use that as well. Now you can either use this with the solar panel charging it, or if you have a wired doorbell setup where you have it powered all the time, you can just wire it straight into that. There's the 2 pins on the back of the doorbell for doing that if you so desire. If you have a doorbell chime in your house that's wired up and you want to do your doorbell that way, you have all of the things that you need to be able to do that, and it's all in the box ready for you to get it set up that way. That isn't how I've done it, because I've decided to do it wirelessly. I say I've decided to do it wirelessly. We don't have a wired doorbell, so we have to do it wirelessly. But I'm not unhappy with that situation because of how we have our home set up and with devices that we have. So the solar panel I've wired into the doorbell. Instead of drilling it into the wall, because I'm currently testing it, I've just used the sticky back that they have, which is actually very secure, probably less secure than actually screwing it to the wall. But we had a massive storm here a couple of weeks ago and it didn't blow off, which is which is nice. It was just stuck on nice and securely, and unless you would decide wanting to desperately rip it off, there it's going to stay. It's not an issue. So we just stuck the bracket on. We then clicked in the doorbell onto that stuck bracket. Same with the solar panel. It just puts the bracket on and then you just click it on to that stuck bracket. Now, one thing that I do wish they had slightly differently is that I liked having the solar panel above the doorbell. You can change which side the wire comes out on the other side of the bracket, so you can be quite creative with that. But I wanted the solar panel above the doorbell. The thing that annoys me is that I can't have the solar panel directly above the doorbell, because in order to do that, I would cover up the 2 little holes that you need to push something in to get these things off the bracket. So if I wanted to actually stick it on really close together, I wouldn't be able to access it to be able to actually take it off without just breaking the whole thing. So what I've had to have done is just leave a little gap, and then you can see this little wire going between the two. A little bit annoying, but not the end of the world, I'll be honest. I wish the bracket was on the bottom or on the top. Someone's at the front door. What great timing. So yeah, I've decided to use sticky back onto the smooth side of my door. However, you can drill it into your wall. I probably will end up doing that at some point, but that's for another time. Now, in terms of the setup, software-wise, you need to get this thing set up on the EZVIZ app. Now, the EZVIZ app is really good, really easy to use. The initial setup doesn't take very long at all, I'll be honest. You just got to get it set up and connected, and then you connect it to your Wi-Fi, so then obviously you can access it through the app and through the cloud and all of that stuff. It's fairly straightforward, and you can sort of work your way through it that way. If you have EZVIZ connected to Alexa, so if you have the EZVIZ skill in your Alexa setup, I'm assuming they have a similar thing for Google Home, but I don't use Google Home. Then you can add it to things like your Amazon Alexa devices. So as you probably just heard a minute ago, my Amazon Echo Show rang the doorbell chime, and it does that on all of my Amazon Echo devices around the house. So I've set up through Alexa my doorbell to be the Christmas Deck the Halls theme, because it's December, obviously. So that's what you heard. And that rings out every time someone rings the doorbell, and it goes on whichever devices I want it to in the house. Very, very, very cool. Now, I'll get on to more Alexa related stuff in a second. What I really like about the app is that obviously you can very easily access all of your footage and stuff. What I would prefer is that if there was a way that you could sort of I just feel like the layout of the footage and all that stuff is a little bit it's not easy to quickly look through and find particular things. You have to sort of just search through one by one all of the stuff. So if there's a better way of sort of sorting out your footage from like doorbell presses to motion detected or human shape detected, we'll get into that in a second, that would be really cool. So a couple of extra specs that you probably need to be aware of. The camera is 2K. That I think is probably good enough for any particular need. I don't think you need any more or less than that. I don't think you necessarily need more than that. 4K would obviously be the best, but it will take up a lot more storage, so you got to balance that. I think 2K is good enough. I don't think you'd want less than 2K because you sort of struggle to see details then, but 2K is pretty good. The field of view is 162 degrees. That's okay. It's not amazing, I'll be honest. You're not getting the entire front of your property, but it's all right. It's what you'd expect from most doorbells, I'll be honest. At night, it will either use night vision, so like infrared camera, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think it's obviously better for noticing particular things, and it has those lights involved. Or you can use the color night vision, and then that basically has a spotlight on the doorbell, so that spotlight will come on and then you'll have color footage of whoever's at the door. What you'll probably find with that one though is that things that are further away are going to look much more grainy and you'll lose a bit of detail, but you will get the color. I quite like the idea of having color, especially for security purposes, because if you're trying to find out particular things about someone, so there's someone at your door, you can tell exactly whether they were what colour hair they had, what they were wearing. You can tell their skin tone and stuff like that, so you can very easily go and speak to the police and let them know more details about the person than just there was someone there. And then all of the videos that are stored on this you can then download, so you can download them onto your phone, so you can easily share them around, and you can choose whether you have date stamps and stuff like that or not in the settings, and you can also choose whether you have EZVIZ logos and stuff like that, watermarks, if you want to have them, or whether you don't want to have them. Now, as I said earlier, I have these set up with all my Echo devices for the doorbell. A question that I get a lot is, what is the delay like? Because if you don't have an actual chime, which this doorbell, you can have the EZVIZ chime, you can get that as an extra thing on top of just the normal doorbell by itself. That obviously costs more money. If you already have Alexa devices like I do, I don't need that. But is there a delay? And the answer is, there's a very small delay, but it's the best delay I've seen on one of these doorbells. Honestly, you press the doorbell and it's probably like doorbell press, chime. It's like doorbell press, chime. It's very, very, very quick. And that is not just for my Echo devices, but that's also for notifications I get on my phone. One thing I really like about the app is that on my iPhone 15 Pro that I have, which I'm currently filming on, so otherwise I would show you, is that when someone presses my doorbell, I've set it up so that instead of it just giving me a notification, it actually calls my phone. Which means if I'm not in the house, or if I'm, let's say I'm sat on the toilet or something otherwise disposed and I can't get to the front door, I can get a thing up on my phone which will actually allow me to go straight to a phone call or straight to just an actual conversation with the person over the phone, straight there. Like if I'm driving in my car, for example, it'll come through my car as a phone call, which means I can speak to someone like I'm speaking on the phone, but they're at my front door. It's very, very cool, and it works very, very well. And that's something that I haven't had with other doorbells. Normally it just sends me to the app and it takes forever to load, and then by the time my app's opened, they've gone away. This is much quicker, it's much more instant, and it's almost like I answer the phone and I speak to the people. It's so much better. I cannot tell you how much I preferred it to my last doorbell. Now, I'm pretty sure I've covered most of the questions that I think I would have had if I was going to be looking at buying this. If there's anything you think I've missed, stick a comment down below, because I'd love to try and answer it if I've missed it. But I am so impressed with this. The fact that the storage is built into it, the fact that it charges itself with its solar panel, it takes all of the things I hate about video doorbells and it fixes all of those problems. And then I'm just left with all of the things I love about video doorbells. So I am massively happy with this. This is the perfect upgrade, exactly what I wanted. If you want to grab yourself one, there will be a link down in the description below. So go down there, click that link. It helps support the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Woo!